probably the last Crimes and Punishment stream. Given that we've only got about a case and a half left, which is also the reason for the stream name. So just hold on while it is loading up here. It's a bit slow. There we go. I hope it's not too loud today. Right, so let's just jump right back into it. Last time we were dealing with what started out as just some missing plants, which then turned into the director of the gardens had a heart attack, which apparently was not a heart attack but a murder, because it's always murder with Sherlock. And we examined the belongings. So we need to find a plant that was used to kill Mr. Montague Dunn, and we need to talk to the people who work at the Kew Gardens and inspect all the various buildings. This is probably going to be my last stream for like a week, maybe two as well, because the new Final Fantasy expansion drops tomorrow. And I'm going to be playing through that. Loading is being real stuttery today. And long, Jesus. Are you done? You're done. Okay, thank you. So, here we are back at the gardens. Let's have a talk with you then, Martin Hamish. Oh, right, we can do a profile on him. Inexpensive glasses. Dirty color. Well, he does work with plants all day. I'd be surprised if his clothes weren't dirty. Unmarried.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
Isn't there something you should know about?
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression. Great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic.
Oh my.
So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
He was an alcoholic, wasn't he?
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say. He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That and...
And?
He had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
Oh my.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
But nothing
Thank you, Mr.
poisonous?
Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Excuse me. Map.
Water lily greenhouse.
So this is where the murder took place.
Colonial collection.
Stumbled in from there.
Palm house. Director's office, cloakroom, and laboratory.
And a reserve.
Nursery. Seed house. Ventilation system. Dry tropics.
What's this little tab? Oh, okay. And
A map of Kew Gardens.
indeed. Can I bring it with me? No. Okay, let's start.
Locked.
Never mind, we'll need to find the key to that. How about this?
Locked.
Also locked. Okay. Nursery.
Locked.
Also locked. Everything's locked. This is not locked. This is very pretty. Okay, so what's here? This is a whole new area. Where am I? We went through there, so this is the seed house.
Locked.
Which is also locked.
There is a smell of burning.
Oh my. Is the garden on fire? It is. Can I just... This probably shouldn't walk over the plants. Fireplace. Hot.
The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
Is that blood? Is that
The
blood?
plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned.
Is that a Venus flytrap?
A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the colonial collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material. A broom handle was half burned. The remains of a picture frame.
The gas mask.
A protective mask. Someone set it alight, but it did not burn.
That looks horrifying. Oh, is that a... that's a lawnmower. That's adorable. Let's see, over here. This is the ventilation
A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
I'll have to do something about that later then. Lots of pots. Can I enter here? I can. Cool. Let's see. Some rope. New York Times. No, not New York Times, just the Times. Ooh. A lot of cacti. More pots. And Nothing of interest. Right, so we've been in here. And parameters. Palm house. That is definitely a lot of palms. Fairly sure I need to get the key to the other areas from someone. But I haven't found anyone to ask for the key.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Oh, look at that. Hello. Let's have a look then. Wept recently, consumed by grief. And cuts himself shaving. And he doesn't work very much in the gardens, it seems.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
Thank you.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only, for I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
Oh, who says that?
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah, at the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Oh, even as good as Martin Hamish.
Would you please
Hamish.
tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Oh,
Indeed? That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
that's not a positive thing.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
So let's have a look then. Albert's ambition and the deadly plants have been stolen. No. Poisoning? No. He told me it had a link here. My neurons are not what they once were, apparently. Excuse me, I'm... Please and thank you. Right, where am I now? Right, we can speak, but you lied to us. You are not, as a matter of fact, the deputy.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And why, he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
That's the wrong button. Excuse me. Aha! Director's office is safe. Ah, it's one of these. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. There's probably a better way to do it, like you're supposed to solve it some other way, but trial and error also works. My dear friend, please allow me to express my disappointment upon reading your last letter. I am paying you to defend me, not to accuse me. Kew Gardens is a royal institution. We are granted the great opportunity to travel the world and to save the most extraordinarily precious and rare species of plants. Our duty is to protect such species and from those who might wish to use them for dubious purpose. This divine syndicate of whom you speak have no right to hold such precious plants. Remember the case of June 14, 1889. So I must respectfully ask you once again to notarize the permissions of those plants on behalf of Kew Gardens. The documents were sent to you on Monday. P.S. See you in Boodles on Tuesday, as always. Montague Dunn. Mr. Dunn, we must ask you for the last time for the return of our dear sisters. You do not have any right to hold them imprisoned. They do not belong to you. Your so-called permissions are wholly false. You are hiding behind lies. The lie, we need not elaborate, that was reported in the press as the case of June 14, 1889. What you have done is quite abhorrent. Be very sure that we shall never abandon our family members. We trusted you and regret having done so. The Divine Syndicate.
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
That is Miss Margaret White, Mr. Montague Dunn. Rental of a suite of rooms on Oxford Street, an educational scholarship at the London University, credits opened at Hamilton, Radigan House, Taylor's, and at Bard's Son's Luxury Jewels. Oh boy. So she's in debt. So I can't make any more connections at the moment. Photograph.
A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
They have alcohol. You keep alcohol at your workplace? He looks like a strict man. Keeps a lot of alcohol.
Champagne. Montague Dunn had good taste. French wine. A remarkable vintage.
It's a lot of alcohol. Let's have a look at them. My dearest Margaret, following our last conversation, I believe it might be better if you vacate your position here at Kew Gardens. As you pointed out quite bluntly, you are no longer in need of my support. You are quite able to stand up for yourself in this world, as you say. Well, I give you back your freedom and wish you nothing but good luck. So she got fired.
Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
New plant species. The Kew Gardens teams are pleased to announce the successful production of a new variety of barley, one that contains a complete resistance to the cold. They have named it the Siberian barley. Mr. Martin Hamish, the proud cultivator of the graft, will hold a press conference next Monday morning upon this very subject. So well done. White's expulsion. There you go. Miss White and Mr. Dunn had a recent disagreement. Montague Dunn was planning to release Miss White from her position at Kew Gardens. That is a motive. Losing your job, after all. Right. Suppose that's all. On to the next door. Is this the cloakroom I'm not? No, I'm allowed in here. Laboratory table.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
We need Toby. But before that, I'm not done here, so... Botanical section, University of Cambridge.
This student's book belongs to Albert.
Repeat here. Oh boy.
A botany book.
Not doing so well in his studies then.
The employee's cloakroom. Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
Right, it's one of these again. Ah. I see. Oh, I gotta match this. Like so. Not like so. Where does it... It stops here. Now I think this is correct. And then there you go.
Open.
Thank you. I wasn't done in here though.
Gloves. Waterproof aprons. Everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here.
So whose is missing?
Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals. This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes. A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory.
I can put it in. How do I...
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
What about the other one then?
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
Interesting. Anything burning in the fire? No.
Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
I don't speak chemistry. Is that everything in there? Okay. Cloakroom.
Miss White's locker.
Box. Is there anything on the back? No.
These jewels must be worth a small fortune. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student. A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Dear Mother and Father, I am writing this letter with reluctance to ask for your help. My studies and my housing costs have proven to be more expensive than I had anticipated. I fear, therefore, that I may not be able to manage in the long term. I know that we have had our disagreements in the past, but would you be so heartless as to allow your daughter to fail her studies due to a lack of money? Oh boy.
A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
Well, open it. There's something inside. Margaret, we were surprised to receive your letter. How could you think to ask us for money after all these years that have passed since you left, and without any thought of us? You have never shared with us any detail of your success at the university, but you choose to do so now. We suppose you must be ashamed of us, for we are not from the same high class as your newest friends. Yes, we are modest people, but you should learn to put your family first, as we at home have always done. And none of us ever compromised our reputation, as it appears you have already with your employer, Mr. Dunn. No, Margaret, it is you who makes us feel ashamed, your parents. Oh boy. That's another letter. Dear Margaret, I know how your financial troubles are overwhelming you at this present time. Please let me reassure you that I could not permit you to remain in such a dilemma. I was born of a wealthy family. I would consider it an honor if you might accept my help. Your devoted servant, Albert. So Albert had a crush on her. Let's see. White studies and... No. White's family and Dunn. Margaret White's studies and social situation were completely dependent upon Montague Dunn's wealth. Alright. She's in dire financial situation. This is Hamish and this is Albert's.
Martin Hamish's locker. Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting.
He's got a letter. Mr. General Secretary, recent events unfolding at Kew Gardens obliged me to renew my application for the management position. As I have stated already in my previous letters, I believe that no one is better suited for the post. While Mr. Montague Dunn was alive, I understood your reservation to my suggestion. Your reasons were political, and so I was happy to comply. But now the Kew Gardens lie in disorder. How can I stand by and allow it? How can I leave them in the hands of inexperienced people with no motivation? I must urge you to cast your decision as a matter of urgency, so that I may devote myself entirely to the noble task ahead and free my mind from this uncertainty.
A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces. Father and I, Kew Gardens.
Now we should just take that, shall we?
Albert's locker. Young Albert, standing with a woman in front of London University. Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea.
Mm-hmm.
A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
Oh no. Sir, it is my regret to inform you that despite your excellent results within our entry examinations, we are unable to invite you into the Royal Navy School. Your father, Mr. Montague Dunn, has expressed his intention to entrust to you the directorship of the Royal Botanical Gardens in Kew, and it is clear that he would not release you for an entire year of naval training. Please accept all our best wishes for your future at Kew Gardens. Oh no. That is a shame. Right, we're still not done running through the gardens, however. Let's head into the nursery, I think. There's no Miss White in here. That looks cool. Sad the plants got stolen.
These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
Work desk.
A thesis written by Martin Hamish.
Please don't make
A
me
glasses case. It is empty. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office.
It's not a very big office if it's cramped away.
This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was directing, but it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens. This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition.
Well, we know he's real passionate about plants. Meanwhile, I am trying to find the last employee.
The seeds of plant species are stored here.
It's not that big of a place. She doesn't have all that many places to hide, but how about in here?
Open.
Ah, there she is. Excuse me, ma'am. Not a very sociable person, so I'll window can be opened. This is probably her workplace.
Materials for college study. They belong to Albert.
Ah, this is Albert's study.
These leather gloves are new and of good quality. They do not appear to have been used. This place serves as Albert's office. A book about ships. Nothing at all to do with plants.
Right, Miss White.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir. And good day to you, too. But...
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Indeed. Let's see then. Pelagara. Let's see. What have I missed here then? Something else on our hands? Ah, yeah, there. Unmarried. Well, we kind of already figured that.
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh, yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Well,
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
everyone else keeps saying that Montague was an asshole.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic, and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
That's unfortunate.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious.
Indeed. Right, so what is next on my agenda? Use Toby to track the scent. I can talk to Albert about the naval thing, and then Martin about the photo. I need to find a place for the fragments. Research the symbols. I do have quite a lot I need to do. Problem is, I don't actually remember where I found Albert. It was over in the large greenhouse, right? Ah, yeah, there he is.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
Listen,
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say.
Alright,
Yes, that's
was
correct.
snooping a lot.
And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
See, Albert's humiliation and his submission then. Albert had motive to kill his father, Montague Dunn. Dunn had thwarted Albert's dream of joining the Royal Navy. By killing his father, Albert could have had his revenge and eventually succeed in his father's place as director of Kew Gardens. I don't think Albert's guilty, he's too shy. Wrong door. It was this way. You! What's this about your dad?
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father, so it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Let's see. New director. Hamish's anger. Martin Hamish had a motive. He believed that he and his father's lives had been ruined by Dunn, who had taken the credit for all of their work. Hamish wished to take over the directorship of Kew Gardens, but Ed knew that it would not be possible with Dunn still alive. Is this the last case, by the way, or is there one more? Well, there is one more. Right, so there might be a statue somewhere that requires marble. Let's go and have a look. Hmm. Is it possibly in the? It's gotta be in the big house, right? The statue. There's balloons, but there's see it. There's no statues in here either. Hmm. I haven't found Miss White's workplace either. Have you seen the statue? Is there a place I've not been yet? I've been through the dry tropics. Been through the nursery. The reserve, maybe. Next to the palm house. No, isn't that where Albert's working? Oh, here. Yeah, this is the reserve. Statue might be elsewhere, but I feel like it should be in like the Kew Garden somewhere.
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
Okay. It's a real rattly ventilation system.
These plants come from all the territories of the British Empire.
British India, Calcutta, Malacca, Australia. And there's nothing in Australia but cactus, apparently. And this is the British Honduras, which I think are no longer British. That's a huge ventilation system. Nothing over there. Oh, sorry. Pots.
These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for exhibition purposes. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
Interesting. Not what I was looking for, but interesting nonetheless. But no statues. Who's been digging though? Fish pond? can't get off the grass. Let's see. Please, what's it? I keep running past through there. Maybe it's through here. No. Oh well, we'll find the statue later. I'm sure I missed it. Let's go. Let's have a look. You have to find like a ton of stuff in the archives, so let's go do that first. Right, let's have a look here. Oh, that's a lot. Symbol on a broken pot. Martial arts. Marks and symbols. Divine Syndicate probably corresponds. Members of this syndicate worship Trawan, the God King. They strive to obtain spiritual peace and release themselves from the material world. So generous donations are appreciated.
Here it is. The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
Search the symbol in the exhibition pots. That's in big S.
That is not the one I need.
London Garden Supplies? Seymour's Garden. We are a premium supplier for all your landscape, gardening and timber requirements. Full range supply and delivery of sand, soils, mulches, pots and anything else you may need. 3 Burton Road, London.
Here it is.
And then, case of June 14. We're gonna have to go to newspapers then. 1889. Probably this one then. The Divine Syndicate Club, followers of the God King Trawan, situated on 48 Grosvenor Street, Carlton Road, protectors of plants and more particularly trees, are currently the subject of an administrative investigation. The leaders of the organization are suspected of financial malfeasance. It may be that this investigation will lead for charges of judiciary. Meanwhile, many voices have risen high against this inspection, denouncing the state. In fact, this private organization, which has given as its goal the defense and protection of nature, and which incorporates many persons of influence, including political representatives of the opposition party.
Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out what they have against Montague Dunn.
Oh, where's Toby?
Someone should take Toby for a walk. Have you found something interesting?
Tons. Come on, Toby.
Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens. Oh dear, Toby. I wasn't aware that you were Watson's new literary agent.
There we go. Kew Gardens. He looks so comfortable on his little seat. Very happy to be here. Am I gonna run around this
Let
dog
us
again?
take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search.
Oh yeah, I get to be a dog again. I can climb up and open doors, apparently. Oh, look at that, Watson's following. Can I bark at him for being dodgy? No. Okay. I'm stuck. Watson, please. This is far away. All the way behind here, huh? Hidden place.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found.
He just really had to pee.
This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
Indeed. So do I have to go home and do some experiments then? Yes. Let's see here. I still like a character portrait, so let's go analyze this substance. That's enough exercise for Toby today. Let's have a look then.
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis. This is the bottle that we found hidden at Kew Gardens. Let us use a pipette to take a sample of the liquid and fill a test tube.
Oh well. See, this is why I'm not a scientist. Too many pipettes.
A colorless, water-based liquid.
That's not
Quite
a good idea.
strong floral aroma.
Well, that is very much not a good idea.
Holmes? What are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
What if it's poisonous?
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor nearby.
So what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens.
That's gonna take a while. Or not.
Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you.
I need a pipette again. Yes. Oh, it turned red.
red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
You just drank fertilizer, you're aware of this? Jesus. Okay, so the Divine Syndicate then. Ask about the broken pots and stuff. Maybe they were cheaper. And that's why I decided to go with those instead of the high quality ones.
This place is beautiful, Holmes. Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Let us find someone who could help us.
Oh, that is pretty. Oh, look, this little cave there. And a humongous bell. Pot pieces.
Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. A fragment of a flower pot.
Lots of flower pots.
The Kew Gardens symbol.
Okay, let's go talk to this guy before we open the door. The one who's practicing something.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock.
I am exalting the sap. A while can you wait? From the trace of elements and moreover from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore, please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance, do not disturb.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcomed you are. To introduce myself, I am the Green Grand Mystic.
The Green Grand Mystic himself.
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
God, that is painful. It's like Yoda. Oh, he's got a burn.
We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say, the divine syndicate, glory to the eukaryotic. Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize in sharing of knowledge,
I beg your pardon?
are permitted to physically enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom.
The hell is
And to be permitted,
spermatophile?
you must earn it. Yes.
Okay, how about we bribe you?
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy they are.
Okay, but okay, so we have to mention the Kew Garden symbol. But which ones?
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Damn it.
Do you have...
None. Not worthy there.
So it is this one then. No? Come on.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Is it this one then? There we go. Jesus.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search. Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago, and we believe the pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said. He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his greenfly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find our 3 plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
Oh, that was true one.
Our God King's name is Treewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Oh, la, good, I like you. Here is the holy key to the wisdom place. Holy donation can you make whenever you so wish.
Thank you so much.
Terms and
I pray you
conditions
to
apply.
taste our fertilizer substance. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course.
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
So, deadly plant stole, divine syndicate thieves. Stole all plants from the exhibition. They could have used them in order to murder. Honestly, it's not theft if you're stealing back what someone else took from you. Come on. Well, off we go. That is a big gong. Oh. By the entrance, they say. Drugs.
That should be the raw sap that the Green Grand Mystic spoke of. It is rather delicious, and of an excellent quality.
My word, Holmes. Their sap is like a form of cocaine.
I just ate coke. Chewed it, though, was nothing. Yum yum.
This must be Treewan, the Divine Syndicate's god.
Osmosis and photosynthesis.
You do realize we aren't actually plants, yeah?
Caterpillars. They are raised as food for certain plants. Let's take them.
Well, all of them. How about, you take one or two?
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest.
Those two are either... That's a Venus flytrap. I don't remember the name of that. But... Are none of these actually
A
poisonous?
tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest.
Not these either, huh?
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest.
Very well, how about here? Now see. Carnivorous, Diabolica, Carlina. I don't know which one to take, so I'm gonna leave them for now. What's this? Benefactors. Any names I recognize?
The list of plant friends and benefactors. Lawyers, well-known manufacturers, political leaders.
Mm.
This door is locked, but I can try to open it.
Please do. Oh god, good. It's one of these again. Alright. Like so, maybe? Let's see here. Goes there. Where does it stop? Here. So that one needs to be altered slightly. Like so, I think. Ah, that's right. So, maybe. That doesn't feel right. It isn't. We got the same issue again, but this time I think Okay, so it has to be like this. Then like so. And like so. There you go. That's what's it.
These instruments are used for smoking opium.
Ah. It's a drug then.
This cabinet is full of chemicals. They are the same as the ones we found in the laboratory at Kew Gardens. This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. That would be enough to perform the most difficult of chemical experiments. A vast amount of opium.
It's enough to keep you entertained for a couple of weeks at least. Right, so what do we do with this? Right, I haven't looked for a statue here, but
This green grand mystic fellow seems rather suspicious, Holmes. We should search every inch of this place.
indeed. Right, I need to figure out which one of these are poisonous. I don't think it's this one.
These 3 plants are identical to the ones shown at the exhibition. I shall take them.
Oh, I can take all of them. I thought I could only take one. Let's see here. Set up the experiment. Set up an alkaloid from chemical laboratory on the caterpillars and perform the experiment with the deadly plants. Can do.
Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment.
Do I do that in here then? Or back in Baker Street? I do that back in Baker Street. Okay. Can I tell this poor guy who's meditating that this is really just an opium den? Can I talk to this guy about it?
Follow my path, and better you will feel.
I feel better when I stop talking to you. Right, so he was last one. Injury occurs if one uses unnecessary force with a chemical pipette. He has practiced chemistry, which requires the Cartesian mindset. Back to Baker Street. Can I like change my suit? I've been wearing the same thing for days. Let's see. Put on something else. Yes. Have I unlocked any new hair? No. Where's my hat? There it is. Perfect. Chemical.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
Okay, let's start with this. Oh, I probably need to position these then.
A prickly plant. A carnivorous plant. This is a strange and unusual plant.
Okay, so let's try stabbing.
No reaction. It appears to have fallen inactive after being disturbed.
And this?
My word! It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it with a pin. I imagined that its reaction would be ferocious if I increased the strength of my attack.
Right, so...
How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism.
And yet that one didn't react at all. How about we swap these two then?
This plant seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid.
Now hang on, what if I now put this? There you go.
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
Let's have a look then. Deadly precision. The Divine Syndicate or the sect is not evolved? Good question. Unsure yet. I don't think they are involved. Seems a bit too obvious. Let's go talk to some people again.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Look at this beautiful tree while I quickly go and turn off the heater before I boil to death. I also ended up knocking my cat over, so that was unfortunate. He's not very happy with me at the moment. Right, let's go talk to Albert then.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
So, it sounds like Hamish is lying. I still haven't found that statue. Probably ran past it a bunch of times without noticing. Where's Miss White again? Oh yeah, she's over here. In the seed house. Ma'am, have you seen a statue somewhere?
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house.
I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Thank you, miss.
Well then. Oh.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
Oh, we already knew that. Let's see. What am I supposed to do now? Find out how to stimulate the deadly plants in the colonial collection. Ah, I see.
The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
I thought I was supposed to put them up here. Alright, the colonial collection is in here. No. In that open door. I'm sorry. Right, here we go. There's a bust here. 1, 2. So where is that bust?
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
No, I need to find that bust. Let's go one more time around. So it's just a bust, not a big statue. Where can it be? There it is. Have you been there all this time?
It is a bust of Montague Dunn. I am curious if the marble that we found will fit this place. Here it is. The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial Collection Room is what they have in common.
That's it? Oh. I got that out of the way. Now, caterpillars. Wait, I need to trigger the ventilation system. That's probably to do here.
First of all, I need to visit the Colonial Collection Room to see how those caterpillars dropped onto the deadly plants.
Oh, right. That was through here. I think. And then through here. And then through here, because there was this here.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
No, you're not gonna like that. Okay, so it goes outside. I feel like I'm heading the wrong way. Ah, no, there it is. Okay, so this goes in here. And then in here. Jesus Christ.
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room.
Oh, okay, I need to find out which window it is. So, it could have been the previous one.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
So, do I do anything here, or do I just carry on? Window closed. And then through here.
The power is on. The engine cannot be started whilst the transmission is active. The engine has started.
No, I don't want So,
The
exit.
ventilation system is working.
Okay, so I need to start that and then I'll head back to the window. And work on the ventilation from there, I suppose?
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one.
No, that was the one over in here.
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system. Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
Right. Ventilation was used. Martin Hamish had the opportunity to stimulate the deadly plants in the Colonial Collection Room. As a biologist, he would have understood the technicality of how to do this. Yeah. I don't think the sect was involved, actually. Not in murder. Martin Hamish could be the killer. He had the opportunity to steal the Divine Syndicate's plants and stimulate them from his workplace directly after he had locked Montague Dunn inside the Colonial Collection Room. Yeah, you know, that makes more sense to me. Effect the arrest of Martin Hamish. But they might have stolen all of them. Oh no. So some of them then. But
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
have I dealt with all? Yeah. Alright, contact Lestrade. Regardless of who else is involved, if there are anyone else involved, Albert might be involved, though I don't think so. Miss White is definitely involved some sort of way. Given she was about to be cut off from everything, she has big motive. But Hamish was definitely involved and guilty. Hello.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you.
Without probable cause, really? Just on a word of the consulting detective. Also, someone tell Watson that is a terrible tie.
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Oh, he's dead then. Good. Absolutely incredible. How'd he do it? Ah!
Holmes, my God!
Yes. We found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
Well then. Let's have a look at the...
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
What's up with his feet?
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
Does he have anything in his pockets? Yes. A letter. Life has become a living hell. I find it unbearable. Dunn deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having his blood upon my hands. We Hamishes seems to have always fallen victim to our circumstance, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I shall do so here and now. Farewell. So, given he has a clubfoot, he couldn't have acted alone. Martin Hamish was unable to run due to the tibial torsion of his clubfoot. Therefore, we should find out if he had sufficient time to lock the door of the colonial collection room and activate the ventilation system. Did he have an compass? Discuss with Lestrade the possible impact of new clues found on the body of Martin Hamish.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Let us analyze the facts and statements so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
Martin Hamish and Montague Dunn went to meet Albert in the Seed House at around 9:30. No, that goes there, okay. It was around 20 minutes to 10 when Hamish and Montague Dunn went to the backyard. After 10 minutes, Dunn recommends his inspection and entered the dry tropics room. Hamish returned to the Seed House. Martin Hamish had a conversation with Miss White at 10 o'clock. Miss White was in the laboratory until 10:40 when she saw Hamish and Albert in the water lily greenhouse and joined them there. Hamish ran to Albert as soon as he observed that Montague Dunn was unwell, which was at around 10:30. Albert was in the Seed House the entire morning. He observed Hamish return from visiting Miss White at 10 minutes past 10. Wait, 10 minutes past 10. Let's see then. Okay, so that one's incorrect. That's that. No, not correct. Can you speed up, please? What's wrong here? Let's see. Oh, maybe he needs to be there. Yeah, there you go.
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time. Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
Let's have a look here. I'm just gonna collect all the clues first. Right, let's see. Albert's lack of experience in his studies. He's not very good at botany. It's doubtful he could have learned how to... Yeah, he had trouble with, like, the Latin names. I don't think he did it. Albert is not involved, and Albert had time. I personally genuinely don't believe he was involved. White had time. He could have locked the door and alerted Martin Hamish. I think if he had accomplished, it was her. She had knowledge about plants, but at the same time she was a student, so I think White is the accomplice. I genuinely do. Given her financial situation and having been, a threat of losing her apartment, her education. I genuinely think that she's an accomplice. Miss White is a dangerous woman, very capable of carrying out an elaborate murder for monetary gain. She flirted with Dunn's son Albert and later pushed Martin Hamish to his suicide. She deserves the rope. Yes. We're just full-heartedly condemning everyone here, so... Murder is murder. Cool motive, still murder.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining: the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
What?
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop!
Dun dun dun.
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Oh, I hit. Cool. I thought I missed
Well
it.
done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
When she realized that she was unable to make any further monetary gain from Montague Dunn, she advanced her affection to Albert, his son. She was the one who locked the door of the Colonial Collections room directly after Hamish released the caterpillars and then pushed Martin Hamish to his suicide only to cover herself. She got what she deserved. Well, keep sending people to their deaths here. Well, that's the time I was apparently in the right morally, if not, if nothing else. This is the last case, I believe, of the game.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson.
We have. Where to?
To the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat-head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Oh,
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Sounds disgusting, Holmes.
it's a big
Hedgehog
invite.
goulash.
It's a big
Street
invitation.
turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
I can hear them on the stairs now.
Well, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, 'cause I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Oh,
Very
good.
well.
Back to Whitechapel. Let's see. What did I keep? I kept the plant. It's I want to see the letter I got. Or the newspaper. Sensational exotic method of murder. The arsenal of our present-day criminals may soon be refilled with poisonous plants. A young and beautiful woman, in collaboration with her colleague at Kew Gardens, planned the terrible murder of their director, Mr. Montague Dunn. Only one detective was capable of uncovering the truth behind a tragedy that was initially believed to be a simple heart attack. That detective's name is Sherlock Holmes. Oh no. Where's my dog? He's on the chair.
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mop cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
She's still there. Well, at least she's consistent. See, interrogate Leighton, examine his belongings, and investigate the crime scene. Let's go to the crime scene first. I've gone back to my casual suit, apparently.
Locked.
Hello. Oh.
Locked.
Did you see anything of interest? Okay, I'll... Dysentery at St. Adolphus Orphanage. Oh boy. Is your mind open to communication with densients of the spirit world? No, I don't think so. A public meeting. The Dred Scott case. That's a lot of bottles. My god, this is dark. And here's the crime scene. Would someone lend me, like, a torch?
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now.
Oh, Mr. Holmes. Is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving. Who were the victims?
The two men here, both shot. The stabbed fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
Well then.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
So, you just assumed...
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
Good police work there.
What were the fireworks in honour of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Ah, yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course. Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me. A fairly long pole with a forked end.
I'll be needing that later. Let's have a look then. He looks in pain.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant. The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound. A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there. Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die.
Poor man. Kenneth Butler.
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look. This shard of wood is quite new.
Well, he got shot in the head.
The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance.
And then... oh, pocket. Key.
This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
Maybe one of the doors out there, but let's go talk to Mr. Turner first. And hey,
I'll do
Wiggins.
anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
Anything of interest over here?
Locked. Locked.
Nope. Oh, look.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Makes sense.
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street, prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Very nice flowers. Right. Let's talk to this guy then.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Varro reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story?
Oh, I can do a character portrait. So you're on my list of suspects. It's a war veteran. Yeah, they're not really treated very well.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
How did you rush anywhere with your bob leg?
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the 2 shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment. Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
Indeed. See that. Turner's view. Dark window, though. Mr. Turner stated that he remained at the window and was flat until the police arrived. However, this is in conflict with Mr. Merrill's statement, as the constable did not see anyone at the window. 2 victims. Can I talk to him about that? Yes.
Mr. Turner, you have stated that you remained close by your window after the crime, is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrow stated that he did not see anyone at the window when he was running through Half Moon Street.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me, we might have been distracted by the whistles and shouts coming from Whitechapel. We could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner. Would you mind showing me the view that you had from your window?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. Please, follow me.
Thank you. Yeah, he didn't rush anywhere.
Mr. Turner appears to live very modestly.
Oh, what's this?
The books on this shelf are in a mess. It looks as though Mr. Turner was trying to find something in a hurry here, a short while ago. A perfect match. So, Mr. Turner broke his stick when it became stuck between the cobblestones. He did not mention that he was so near to the victims.
Oh my. Modest is,
This fire is dying out. It was last tended to over an hour ago. The papers are almost entirely burned. I am unable to see what's written here. These words are illegible.
Oh dear.
The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago.
Modest is an understatement. Look at the water damage.
This kitchen knife is quite sharp. There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table. This kitchen knife was used to cut the paper.
What are you hiding, Mr. Turner? I'm just gonna invade your privacy, don't mind me.
Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots.
That looks like it's very cold. And that is very bright. Let's have a look then.
So, that's the view Mr. Turner had when he opened the window. The dead body of Kenneth Butler. Brian Vercotti's contorted corpse. Mr. Turner had a perfect view of the crime scene. He saw the bodies clearly, and Leighton Chapman standing over them.
Okay, so he got up from bed. Looked down, approached the body. How's that? I'm unsure if that's correct actually, but
So
That is
Mr.
correct.
Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find? I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look.
Moby Dick.
Well now, what a find! A precious jewel concealed inside a book. A bracelet with a unique ram's head design, a distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
I'll take that. Let's have a little talk, shall we, Mr. Turner?
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
No, you don't. You have a limp.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in Half Moon Street during that time.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Time can pull tricks on you.
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
Yeah, what about the bracelet?
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then, and not now.
But Mr. Holmes...
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window, but you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money. I was desperate. I only took the bracelet, that's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that. Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
Right. What else then? I need to figure out which door that key fits into. Can I talk to you again?
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you.
Locked. Locked. Locked.
Great Ally Street, okay.
Mr. Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard? Is he all right?
I haven't gotten that far yet, no. Well, I don't think any of these doors fit the key. So let's pop over to Scotland Yard. See. I need to investigate that as well. Let's have a look then.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Shapes of noses. I have something in between that last one and that first one. Weird hybrid nose. You drink on the job, Lestrade? See here then. A gun.
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
What?
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots. A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
System. Leighton's revolver. Different shots. Tourniqueted a contrast between 2 fired shots as they were made from different points, or clear contrast between the 2 fired shots as in fact 3 fired shots were made. At first a single shot was fired and then 2 guns fired simultaneously directly afterwards. Sounds like an experiment.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Let's have a look first at you. You've been in a fight. At least one. Might not be that he resisted arrest. Cushy job. He's been to prison.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled.
Nothing, apparently.
Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Okay, but you've both been to prison.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
Oh, God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Let's have a look here then. Old acquaintance, like, no. Lootless. The violent crime committed in Half Moon Street by Leighton Chapman could have had a personal motive. Common statement, what's this? The person whom Leighton Chapman describes in his statements is a figment of his own imagination, created to vindicate himself. Let's see. Kenneth Butler and Brian McCarthy were the victims of a double murder carried out by one person. None of these fit. The witness testimonies in the crime weapon clearly point to one possible culprit, Leighton Chapman. Well, oh, look at that. Did it turn into... well... Let's head to Baker Street. To inspect the bracelet. Where's my dog? There you are.
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mop cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
Search for bracelet. I feel like I should search in my research. Or do I have history here? Rod of...
That is not the one I need.
Religious symbols?
That is not the one I need.
Maybe it's in one of my books. There we go. Art and architecture. Economic science, technology, history, Greek history.
That is not the one I need.
Roman
That
history.
is not
No.
the one I need.
Why not dynamite? Economic science, art and architecture. Antique art? There we go. These beautiful antique jewels represent a part of the Hellenistic treasures collection. Depicted are the 5 heads of mountain rams upon a bracelet, necklace and ring, each made of pure gold. The 5 rams of Mytilene have been missing from the museum since 1885.
Here it is. I need to continue my research in my archives.
So, 1885. There we go. The Hellenistic treasures were stolen yesterday evening while being transported by cab on their way from the British Museum to the Glassford Fine Art Exhibition. Pawnshop owner Kenneth Butler contacted Scotland Yard that night and provided information regarding a gentleman who had attempted to sell him a collection of historical art at his pawnshop in Church Street. The police have since captured the described man, a professional thief by the name of Vincent Foley, who had been in the process of escaping London via the port. He was recognized by the surviving driver of the cab that had transported a collection of Hellenistic treasures. Vincent Foley refused to confess as to where the remainder of the treasures were hidden. He was eventually imprisoned. The lost treasures are still to be found.
Here it is. One of the victims, Kenneth Butler, was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
That's probably what I got the key for. Is this the pawn shop? No. That's a bar. Butler's pawn shop.
Mr. Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
Open sesame. Shelves full of
Crampons and a sharp ice axe would only be brought here by a mountaineer.
More shelves. God, that's a lot of junk.
A flare pistol. Perhaps it was pawned by a destitute sailor.
Let's see. Ooh.
The ram's heads. This necklace belongs to the 5 Rams of Mittelin collection. Interesting. That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft.
Insurance scam. Hello, Kenneth. I remember you once told me about 3 pieces of golden jewelry with ram heads from ancient Greece. You still got them, right? Well, good news for you. I found a man loaded with money who's crazy about those jewels. He's ready to fork out a small fortune. I can arrange a meeting with his money back for you, but I want you to cut me in on the deal. I'll be waiting for you at the crossing of Great Alley in Half Moon Street on Sunday evening before the fireworks. Brian Marcotti. So, let's see here then. Burglary motive or personal motive? Good question. It's probably burglary motive, but let's wait.
It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations.
He's got a lot of clocks. Let's have a look. Alright, we need to re-examine the scene and recreate it. I'm gonna put up. It's too much of a coincidence that we get like all these. Let's keep it at burglary motive. All these valuable artifacts. Meant to say. So, time to reenact the scene of the crime.
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
Ah, the murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that worthless brother of yours.
Be nice. Wiggins is a good boy. One of the victims possibly fired his gun twice. Find out who it might have been.
I am unable to see any higher. I need to find something to lift my lamp.
Okay, give me the poker stick.
This should be useful.
That looks like a bullet hole.
This is most definitely a bullet hole. The brick cracks are fresh. Okay. Watson, there was a 3rd shot fired in this street.
Ah! 2 victims. 3rd shot. So it was a crossfire. No? No, it might have been, but simultaneous shots. This one is probably incorrect. We need to find out who the man was. So, search up. There we go. Disappearing man. Leighton Chapman's statement regarding the jacketed man who disappeared at Half Moon Street now seems reasonable, as the 3 shots at the crime scene proves the presence of a second gun that is now missing. So, how do I find him? Talk to Constable Merrill. Okay. Mr. Merrill.
Constable Marrow, I would value your assistance in this investigation.
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street where a man could hide while you were running through it with your lamp.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp and start walking, just as you did before, and try to find me.
Understood.
Oh, we're playing hide and seek. This would be a...
I can see you very well, Mr. Holmes.
You can?
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
I can't see him at all. I lost him. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Here you are, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
Good. I can't really see anything. There you
Mr.
are.
Holmes, it wasn't difficult to find you at all.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's lamp while hiding in the street.
Okay, so yes. Well hidden. If we can assume that there was one more person in Half Moon Street at the time of the crime, then there's only one way forward or back for his escape, only up. Let us reenact the action, recreate the fireworks described by Leighton and attempt to climb the wall. At my age, find the flare gun and climbing equipment. Okay, so we need to go back to pawn shop. Grab this.
These tools are exactly what I need to climb the wall.
And the flare gun.
This is exactly what we need in order to imitate the flash of the fireworks.
There you go. Back to Half Moon Street. Time to scale the wall. But which wall?
Why are you looking at me all the time like that?
I'm just watching you, lad. I never know what to expect from people like you.
People like me?
Yes, street beggars and thieves.
I ain't a thief.
Oh, no? Then where did you get whatever it is that you're gnawing on? I very much doubt that you bought it.
What ain't seen can't hardly be stolen.
Well, please stop antagonizing each other. Which wall do I climb, though? Can someone remove these bodies? Let's see. Talk to Constable. Ah, okay.
Constable Marrow, Watson, I would like to perform another kind of reenactment with your help.
I'm listening, Mr. Holmes.
I want to check if Leighton's testimony can be trusted. If someone could vanish into thin air at a specific moment.
But Holmes, I don't see how.
I am going to be the mysterious gentleman whom Leighton followed. I will stand exactly where he saw him before he was blinded by the flash. Watson, you will be Leighton. When I fire the signal flare, you should start to chase me.
I understand, Holmes.
You, Constable Marrow, just play your part and do exactly as you did. Just, please, wait 5 seconds after the signal flare. I doubt that Polly Powell would have screamed any earlier.
As you say, Mr. Holmes.
Let us begin, then. Catch me if you can.
Man might be able to climb the wall and remain unknown. This looks like
This wall is
dark.
cast in shadow. It would be difficult to see anyone scaling it.
I'm gone. Oh god.
I can barely see anything.
And they can't hear this, apparently.
Holmes? Are you there?
No, I'm dying on a wall.
I should try climbing faster.
I climbed pretty damn fast there.
I can barely see anything.
Alright, I'll have to climb even faster then. My reaction time isn't
Holmes?
great.
Are you there? Where is he? My God, a man can't just disappear like that.
I'm right above you and I'm about to drop on your head.
Holmes? Holmes? Where are you?
I cannot see you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson, it seems that Mr. Holmes has disappeared.
Don't worry, gentlemen, I am up here, above your heads.
How on earth did you get up there, Holmes?
I am using crampons and a climbing axe, although the person we are looking for did not leave any traces of such tools. Constable, is there any way to get to the top of this building?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I can show you. The door to the building can be found from Whitechapel Street.
Gentlemen, I am on my way down.
Slowly and carefully. This the door then? Oh jeez, that was dark.
These shards of glass are from the window above. cluster of thick black threads. They're unusually strong. I should examine them under the microscope. Someone broke through the window to get inside the attic, but in his haste he ripped his jacket.
Unfortunate.
We can conclude that the person whom Leighton saw climbed up the wall, broke into the attic window, and escaped through the hatch.
So it's not an imaginary man. So Leighton is innocent. There's a lot of red here. Okay. Now we need to go examine the threads in Baker Street. So, it can't have been Mr. Turner because Mr. Turner can't climb like that.
Let us take a closer look. It is not a thread, but a hair. I very much doubt that it is human. I need to compare this sample with a human hair and a horse hair. A shaving brush is usually made from horsehair. Watson, could you please pass me your shaving brush?
Here you are.
Watson, look, what's outside the window?
Well, I don't see anything. Ouch! Holmes!
Oh, don't make such a fuss. One little hair.
Oh well, let's have a look.
Human hair is significantly thinner than the black sample. The horsehair is thinner than the hair that we found. So, this black hair belongs to an animal, and it is larger than a horse. A hair from a large and exotic animal.
An elephant? Oh, finally, here we go. Circus acrobat. Large exotic, so it isn't. Oh, look at that. Vanishing act. Ask for Wiggins' help. Can I call? I don't want to see the missus. No, thank you.
Wiggins is currently at Half Moon Street.
Alright. Wiggins, need your assistance, unless you've been taken in by the cop already.
Wiggins, my lad, what are you doing here? You'd best be leaving and be quick about it.
I've done nothing wrong. You'd learn more by watching Mr. Holmes. He knows exactly what he's doing, not like you.
Oi, watch your tongue.
And they're gonna come to blows soon. Wiggins, I need your help. Come on. Thank you.
Mr. Holmes?
We have good news for you, Wiggins. The investigation has proven very interesting so far. We found facts and details that confirm your brother's innocence.
I knew it, Mr. Holmes.
But for now, Wiggins, we need your help.
Anything you like, Gov.
I need you to locate a circus that has stopped over in London. It needs to have disposed of at least one exotic animal. A very large one.
You can count on me, Mr. Holmes.
I'm just gonna sit here in the cold and wait for that one going home. Very early next morning.
I do hope that those children don't get into trouble, Holmes.
Don't worry, Watson. I predict some news in 7 seconds.
Mr. Holmes, we found it. Here it is.
Well then. Picture of elephant, yeah, see, there we go.
Duval Brothers, a well-known travelling circus that is currently stopped in London. And this is a young Indian elephant, the highlight of the show. I believe that is exactly the type of circus we are looking for. I'll pay it a visit.
Oh, this is a bumpy ride.
Aye, you! Stop right there.
Good morning, sir. Pardon me, but why am I not allowed to walk around here?
Because it's private.
Well, I only wanted to meet the artistes.
Hmm? You're wanting to apply for... Nah. You don't look like the type of, artistic lockpicker that we're looking for.
You might be surprised.
What? Nah. I don't think so. Clear off.
Well, I probably need to change my outfits. Some facial hair, a seedy suit, and a hat should work very well. Okay. So much for going here. It's a little back and forth. Right. Let's see. I need a hat. Let's go with that one. Yeah, sure. Then glasses and... Do I have like a full... Yeah. And then a seedy suit. Well, how about this one?
I highly doubt that a lockpicker would wear an outfit like this.
Oh, come on. That looks great. Bandit outfit then.
Spectacles are unpopular among thugs. I don't want to arouse suspicion.
Alright, no glasses. Fine.
Stay where you are. What are you doing here, and where is Sherlock Holmes?
Calm down, Watson. Take deep breaths now. It's me.
Oh, thank God, Holmes. I can't get used to your disguises.
Thank you, Watson. That means I am ready to go.
Right, off we go. Try again.
Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Nigel. I'm here to open the locks.
Talented, eh? Let's see. Go inside the marquee and show yourself to Charles Foley. And I'd highly advise you not to trick him. Got that?
I've got it.
Explore the circus. I have a feeling if I explore too much, that guy's gonna beat me up, so let's just head inside here.
So, everything is here, just as you asked. And what about the money?
Some of the barrels are wet.
Transportation issues, it couldn't be helped.
Whatever. We'll be here after midnight to pick up the supplies.
I want to be paid first.
No. You'll be paid after we make the transfer, as I said.
Right.
I hope that no one saw you. The police are on the lookout.
Of course not. I'm a professional.
Glad to hear it. Be ready for tonight, then.
So what's this then?
This wooden barrel is damaged. It is difficult to say what is inside. There is a spot on this barrel that was intentionally painted out. The crest of the Honourable Artillery Company. Could it be gunpowder? I need to be sure.
Oh dear.
Judging by the fractions and the scent, I can confirm that it is, in fact, gunpowder.
That's a lot of gunpowder.
The barrels are roughly clustered. It seems as though they were brought here in a hurry.
A unicycle. A printing press. Are they making money? Rise up and keep rising from lambs into lions.
From lambs into lions. Those are words of encouragement and defiance.
Is that Robin Hood?
That's a picture of a contemporary gentleman wearing a Robin Hood hat. Interesting. This poster was clearly made to fire up rebellion amongst the people. There are enough posters to paste across half of London's walls. This printing press is old, but still quite capable of printing hundreds of pages per day. Powder kegs, a printing press, and a great many blank papers. All of this was stolen by the Merry Men quite recently. And these poster samples. I am quite sure it is not a coincidence. The Merry Men are planning some sort of sabotage.
Stop right there. Who are you?
Are you Charles Foley?
Maybe.
They say that I can open any door.
Do they now? We'll see that lock near the chains on the table over there. Open that.
In a moment. You're my last character portrait, I think. Key. Gun. Oh my. I take it you're the one who stole the rest of them. Charles Foley wears an antique ring. He proves that Charles Foley is a mysterious jacketed man who nimbly escaped the crime scene. Quite possible, yes. Alright, where is it? There it is. Ah, another one of these. Hmm. How precise do you need to be? There you go. I finished.
Ah, well, they're right. What's your name?
Nigel Shirley, from York.
Ah, Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
Jailed thief?
It's a long story. I met your brother, Vincent the Butcher Foley, in prison. He told me all about his betrayal, and all about you. Before I was released, he told me that you might find a job for me one day, and pay me some money for me craft.
Well, he died. 7 days ago, in prison.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. The traitor has paid the blood price for it. And you'll do the job anyway, 'cause I need a talented lockpicker. I know just where to search for his legacy.
It's all about the Hellenistic treasures, isn't it?
Osh, you fool. Now, listen up. You'll come with us tonight, and you better mind yourself.
Us? Wait, who's coming then?
Billy, Jack and me.
And what will I get for that?
We'll share the loot. The one you seem to know about.
Right.
Wait for us at the abandoned manor house on a corner of Ladbroke Grove and Kensington Park Road at midnight.
Deal.
Oh. See, find and examine the secret lock at Notting Hill Manor. Oh, we have a pipeline.
Here I am at the manor. Somewhere inside it are the Hellenistic treasures. This lock is quite old. It shouldn't be much of a challenge.
Oh good, it's another one. This one might be more difficult. Oh, not.
I need to find where the safe is hidden and lockpick it.
Probably under there.
This cupboard is an absolute mess. Several books have fallen from the shelves. It seems as though this cupboard can be moved. I'll give it a try.
Ah, there's the safe.
So, that's the lock I must open tonight. Let me see.
Ah, another one. Let's see here then, it follows... Well, that's going nowhere. Let's try another line that's... No? Okay, so... And then... I think this might be the last one I'm doing, so it's... Makes sense that it's the hardest one. See, this one now goes... to this one. Like so. Yeah, it just needs to adjust this a little bit. Oh, come on, what's missing now? There you go. Jesus Christ.
What a surprise! Another lock. And I won't be able to pick it. I recall that precious key around Foley's neck. It might prove a decent fit. I suppose they hired me to only open the first lock. Let us wait for the thieves, trap them, and find out. Let us check the thieves' possible escape routes in the event that they are caught off guard by the police from the front door.
Right, so Home Alone style.
This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency. This should be useful.
I'm just gonna grab this chair.
This door leads to a kitchen, which holds the shortest route to the back door.
Block that with the chair then.
The door is now blocked.
Let's see.
The ground floor window is a perfect way to escape the police.
Take a gun and then just train it at them. Surprise.
I wonder what this old chandelier is doing on the floor. It looks as though it was poorly attached. I suppose that the thieves already tried to open the lock with this formidable hammer, but they were unsuccessful.
Carpet.
Oh, that's a lovely old carpet.
Probably needed some points. How about upstairs?
Although this window is high above the ground, it would be possible for one of the thieves to attempt to use it for their escape. This should be useful.
Beads. Oh, am I gonna scatter them on the floor? I am, aren't I? Yep.
One step on these beads, and our thief will go flying. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined.
Right, what else?
This hatch leads to a cellar.
Can I push something on top of it?
This should be useful.
Useful for what though? A chandelier? Ah, I can hang it up.
Now, if anyone takes the hammer, the rope will uncoil and make the chandelier fall.
But what do I need? Can I grab this carpet?
Oh, that's a lovely old carpet.
No, not yet. Can I roll it out over the hatch, maybe.
The door is now blocked.
You can push the cupboard.
This works very well. No one will escape through this window now.
Okay, now.
There is no ladder. If anyone falls here, he will need assistance to get out.
Move very carefully around that. Put the carpet on it.
This should be useful.
Let's see then.
Now, it's not an open hatch, just a nice carpet on the floor. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined.
Right, let's see.
Any thief who finds his way upstairs will roll down very quickly. If he runs through the dining room and takes a sledgehammer to force open the door, the chandelier will knock him down. Now, if a thief runs through the kitchen, he'll pay a surprise visit to the cellar. The traps for my circus companions are all prepared. I can leave now, but I'll return later with Charles Foley and his companions.
Well then.
Police! Police!
So, they're all dead.
Stop where you are!
Where are they?
Trapped, Watson, with your assistance.
How so?
You sounded just like a real bobby, my dear fellow. You startled them into the traps.
I did?
I assure you, Watson, it was quite an entertaining show. They will not escape the house now.
You scum!
And this is the pistol used for the murder in Half Moon Street.
How'd you know about that?
Have you closed the case yet, Sherlock?
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Did you follow me?
Sherlock, it may seem that I used you, but you should be pleased to know that you have served our Queen well, in this instance. So now, let us catch the big fish. But this man is not one of the merry men?
No.
Then why exactly are we here, Sherlock?
This gentleman, Charles Foley, has been involved in a double murder, and the hunter of a set of valuable antiques, the Hellenistic treasures, which disappeared in a theft many years ago.
You're no better than the coppers!
Wow, that's rude. What's in here then?
Holmes, that is incredible. The Hellenistic treasures.
Indeed.
Nothing but trifles. Where are the merry men?
I don't know why you are asking me, Mycroft. They are yours to find.
I'll see you soon, dear brother.
Oh dear. The antiques discovered inside the hidden safe of the abandoned manor on Notting Hill represents the collection of Hellenistic treasures that was stolen in 1885 and considered to be lost. There you go, Foley's vengeance. Charles Foley organized the theft of the Hellenistic treasures, which was related to the double murder at Half Moon Street. Leighton Chapman was witness to the crime. He's being condemned.
Charles Foley, you committed the crime of premeditated murder and of theft. You will be severely punished for your deeds.
You are pitiful, you Scotland Yard dog.
Save your words for the gallows. I'm sure the journalists will love them. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you going?
I have unfinished business. I'll see you at Baker Street.
Now then. We're gonna be yelled at by Mycroft.
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are and the plans that you have here.
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful. You'll blow us all up.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already. We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs. Honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street. And all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the New Lands, America, Australia, and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other, just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should not fear them. Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the London Stock Exchange. No lives shall be lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles? They shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
Chaos. But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally justice will arise.
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
How do you see justice, then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how many lords do you see punished for stealing from their people, sending them to their deaths in mines or overseas to fight for land? Our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
So, what's my options here? Throw the cigarette in the bucket of water, or... I feel like this is a moral choice. Or powder trail. That is a good question. I feel like I can't, given I've been such a hard ass the whole game. So...
When people fight the order, they are too blind to see the consequences that throw society into chaos. I shall stop your actions, but not you. Run. Now!
I do like big booms. What's to stop them from just getting more gunpowder, though?
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite, lately.
It is an interesting book. I remember a few lines.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but I had a hard time understanding it.
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of, pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or suffering?
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade, my brother does possess a deep heart. So deep that he does not recall where he places his love.
Well, I'm sure that...
His love and his duty that, in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it, we would be nothing. A country filled with uncivilized men.
And the Empire needs order and discipline. It has no room for chaos.
People who commit crimes, or at the very least intend them, deserve punishment, Sherlock. Without justice, there can be no civilization.
But we serve the truth, not justice.
Your truth, Doctor, that may prove immoral. Allowing people to terrorize London, destabilizing the whole empire.
Terrorize only the powers whom you serve, Mycroft. Not I, not Watson, not Mrs. Hudson, not Wiggins.
Sherlock, the merry men are to be stopped.
Not by me. You created the merry men. Stop them yourself. Only make sure that you don't create 10 more merry men by arresting the one.
Good night, Dr. Watson.
Oof. Harsh.
Anything in the post, Watson? Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what? A lady?
So, did I get this right? I did get it right. So, accept the decision. Yes. Hey, most people made the same moral choice again. Cool. And I believe that was the end of the game. It was. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna skip the credits because the song is most likely copyrighted. Ah, look at that, there's an epilogue. Oh, it's just sitting by the fire. Did I keep anything from this one? I kept the poster. So, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I'll be off for 2 weeks, probably, roughly. And then I'll be back with the next game in the series, which is Let me have a look. Arsene Lupin, so that's gonna be an interesting one. So yeah, for now, take care, and I'll see you in 14 days.